Everyone, this is Roman Shersher, your number one online resource for buying property with your market update. Today we'll be covering some of the stuff that's going on right now. We have good inflation news, good price index news, and we found out today that still a huge share of today's buyers are purchasing in all cash. And I'll go over exactly what that means. But as always, guys, if you like this video, we'd love for you to share it on social media. It helps us so much to get the message out. Just tap the share button down below and share it with your friends and family. To anyone watching on Instagram, be sure to head over to Facebook or YouTube after this to check out the links and the slides to the content I'm about to go over today. As always, I don't give you a lot of opinion, mostly raw data as to what's going on in the real estate industry. A lot of things going around. People think they know what's going on. I give you the raw data as someone that's in the trenches, buying, selling, flipping, representing buyers and sellers. I tell you exactly what's going on and what I'm seeing in the market. All right. We have a couple of projects that we're working on. We have a flip right now in Woodland Hills that we're working on. Just closed one out in Winnetka. That was a good one for us. We just had a buyer that we were able to close on a Beverly Hills adjacent condo on. Got a great price there. It's a newer building. It was a beautiful transaction. And we just got two new Jacksonville properties that just came to market. If you're looking for a good cash flowing rental, reach out to me. We have some really good properties in Jacksonville that do just that for you. All right. First thing I'd like to go over today is the U.S. inflation gauge fell last month by the most since 2020, since the pandemic. And this is a very significant factor because what's happening now is that a lot of people are feeling and experiencing what these rates are looking like, and they're really hurting the market. And the issue is that the interest rates are too high. The interest rates were as high as 7 and 8 and change even as of 2 or 3 weeks ago. That has now reversed course, and as of last week, the wholesale inflation gauge, the U.S. wholesale inflation gauge, cooled off in October. It reversed a 3-month trend by the Bureau of Labor Statistics released this data, the PPI. So the PPI measures the average price changes that businesses get to suppliers, people that put together products that they bring to market. So what their inputs are, their supply chain inputs, that's what the PPI measures. And it fell 0.5% on a monthly basis. That's the largest drop since April 2020 when COVID created a really sharp economic contraction. Also on Tuesday, the October CPI, the Consumer Price Index, that's what we're paying on our goods, showed that prices were unchanged for the month, contributed to a slowdown in the annual inflation rate down to 3.2%. This is getting much closer to where the Fed wanted to be on their consistent, I think it was 2.5% was what they wanted to have as their benchmark inflation rate. And now we brought the inflation rate down from, it was up to, I believe, 6.9%. We're down to 3.2%. It's the first time that CPI held steady on the monthly basis since July of last year. And it was the lowest annual rate since March of 2021. So the Feds are really, I don't know, they're kind of fine-tuning all the gears and whistles and everything out there that they have at their disposal to bring this inflation number down. And as a result, they elected to hold the benchmark interest rate steady. During the last two meetings, they have not raised interest rates. And there's been a lot of promising signs, both in the PPI and the CPI report that came out this week. One of the top economists for the Fed said, but I think it's a little bit too ambitious to say victory for the Fed, we're all done, inflation's under control. So we still have to watch. There's a lot of data that's coming out through the next month and a half to see exactly where we are on inflation level. We'll see. And hopefully these rates are going to go and reduce continually because we've seen some price reductions. I'll go over that in just a minute. All right, next topic today is that a lot of the buyers today, they're purchasing their properties all cash. Why? Because mortgage rates are still high. Additionally, the prices are high, and so who can afford these properties? More affluent buyers. So the numbers that Redfin reported was that roughly 1 in 3 home buyers in the U.S., or 34.1%, more than one third, were paying all cash in September, the highest share since 2014 even. And they're doing this, of course, to avoid taking a home loan with a high mortgage rate, right? So the shares of homes purchased with cash isn't as high as what the market saw during the pandemic. There was a real slowdown. There was a lot of lending freezes. And so we saw more then, and even a year ago, because of the quantity of transactions were a little bit higher. The share of all cash sales was down 11% from the year ago, but we're still working with a lot of cash buyers in the market. 1 out of every 3 are cash buyers. This includes, of course, investors. Now, the typical home buyer put down, even the ones that are getting mortgages are putting down more to keep their payments down. So the typical home buyer put down an average of 16.1% in September, the highest percentage since June of last year. That's a median down payment of $61,000 nationwide. The metropolitan areas where cash purchases are at the all-time high, so the cities that are seeing more cash purchases than anywhere else right now are Cleveland. 49.2% of all buyers in Cleveland are all cash. West Palm Beach, 49%, that's in Florida. And Jacksonville, Florida, where I do a lot of investing, 46.2% were all cash. And different factors there. Prices are significantly lower, and there is a lot of investor activity out there. All right, the least common expensive real estate market, the least common all cash sale market, we're in the most expensive real estate markets, such as Oakland, California, only 18% of their sales. San Jose, California, 18.2%, and Seattle, Washington saw 20.3% of their sales being in cash. Los Angeles is somewhere between there, somewhere between the 20% and the 34%. I did research. I tried to find exactly what the percentage was in California. In Los Angeles, I could not find that number for the month of September, but I will. I'll keep an eye out, and I'll report it back as soon as I find it. According to Redfin, 42.5% of luxury buyers paid cash during the third quarter, compared to 34.6% during the same period a year ago. Why? Trying to avoid those high interest rates, those high payments. 28% of non-luxury homes nationwide sold for cash, because if you can avoid the higher interest rates in the market, you'll have, as the economist for Redfin Fairweather said, you'll have some kind of a superpower in that you'll be avoiding all of this interest expense that you have. In LA, where luxury sales slowed significantly after the new mansion tax was enacted in April, some agents say that there's still hesitation in the market. So the ULA was passed last year, and it called for, from the beginning of this year, anything that's over $5 million, there's a 4% built-in luxury tax. Anything over 10 million, there's a 5.5% luxury tax. It really slowed that luxury market down here in LA. Sales are happening, but they're taking longer to close, says Jade Mills of Coldwell Banker, who recently got multiple offers on a home she listed for around $20 million. So now we're back to getting multiple offers, even for the luxury market. To some extent, she says people are sort of getting used to the ULA tax. All right, let's look at what the mortgage rates look like. So mortgage rates have fallen significantly. They were up to 8.2% about a month and a half ago. The last market update I gave was on October 27th. The 30-year fix was 7.87%. It's now 7.37%, a whole half-point drop in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. The 15-year fixed was 7.23%. You can see now it's down below 7. It's at 6 3/4. The 30-year jumbo was 8% back then. Now it's at 7 3/4. 5/1 arm was 7.25. It's now 6.34. The FHA 30-year was 7.31. Now it's 6.70. So 0.61 basis points. It's a big drop. The 30-year VA was 7.32. It's now 6.72. percent. So rates have really come down. Hopefully, they'll continue to come down. Where people are expecting, this is just opinion, where people are expecting these to come down is at around at around the high fives is where the people think that these rates will settle eventually. So we still got some time to go, some ways to go to get there. And what we're seeing is that the Fed is not ready to reduce those interest rates yet. Things are kind of steady. Inflation is at 3.2%. They'd like to see it closer to 2.5 or lower. And it's almost like it's plateauing, and they want to see it steady for a while before they start lowering interest rates and before they do that. So the high interest rates are still here to stay for a while, but they've come down from their peaks of over 8.2%. All right, quote of the day by Chandra Rhimes. Dreams do not come true just because you dream them. It's hard work that makes it happen. So you got to have those dreams to kind of lead you in the right direction, but it's that hard work that's going to get you what you're looking for. All right, remember, guys, if you like this video, help spread the word on social media, please. Helps so much. Just tap the share button with your friends. Share it on with your friends and family. This is Roman Share, your number one online resource for buying property. Signing out. Thank you for sharing this time with me.